What's going on, man? Boxing talk up north. Back here, Ryan Fraser. Man, boxing is on fire, and it's fun to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like, honestly, man, I've been in the game for a long time, seen boxing for a long time, and I kind of had I wouldn't say a down period, but like it wasn't like this, man. Like there's just so much like boxing going on, and I don't mean like big fights. I don't mean the huge mega fights, the super fights. I'm just talking about just boxing in general, like the sport itself. Like every weekend, you can tune into a card. Now we got Pro Box every other Wednesday. You can tune into, which was kind of like Friday Night Lights, which we lost, and then you got overtime boxing who's back. You got PBC now, Amazon Prime, they're involved. You got the Zone, which is just every weekend there's something boxing on, whether it's Golden Boy, Matchroom, um, Big Turkey Alice Sheik now, or those YouTube events if that's what you're into. My whole point of this is like boxing is in a beautiful spot. You just had one of the biggest global stars sell out an entire dome, 55K. You know what I'm saying? Like 50,000 plus people showed up to watch Inoue fight Lewis Neri. That's huge for the sport, huge for him. I'm glad that he can do that and draw that. The dude's an absolute star. I don't know what time it was over there in Japan, but it was Monday here. So if that was a Monday nighter in Japan, then holy crap, and you can draw that people on a Monday night. Shout out to him. Shout out to the promoter because they've been obviously, raising his profile and promoting him very well over there. So just boxing is just in a beautiful spot. And then, myself as a Canadian, it's starting to rise here too. There's a lot more going on, a lot more fights, and we're, we deserve a big one, man. I'm a big advocate of a big fight needs to come to Toronto because of the way that city is constructed and the multiculturalism. Like people, man, it bring the right names here, and y'all gonna see Toronto show up and show out. I guarantee it. And anybody that's coming in town, you're gonna have a beautiful time, man. You're gonna enjoy the city as long as it's in the summertime and not in the wintertime. You will enjoy the city of Toronto in Canada. But let's get into this topic, man. I want to talk about Gervonta Davis. Talking about his 6 fight deal is worth or more lucrative than Floyd Mayweather's deal that he had. Um, Shout out to Tank, man. I've not been I'm not a big Tank fan in a sense of uh I think some people like he's got like a cult fan base where you can say no wrong about Tank. These guys get mad at you. Man, it's crazy. I've never been that guy. I've always respected Tank's skills. I always said that he's a super skillful fighter. I would just like to see him fight against some of those super skillful guys because I feel like once he shows us just how, or I feel like those guys can bring more out of Tank. Is what I'm saying. We haven't seen enough of Tank, and I feel like he has tools that he hasn't shown us that those guys can bring out of him. And it is what it is. I think in this 6 fight deal, he will fight these big fights. I don't see anybody giving a guy $200 million if that's the deal. First of all, 200 million plus to just fight a bunch of guys we know he gonna beat. It's not gonna work like that. There's gonna be some adversity or some at least some names in there that we're gonna be like, oh, Tank can lose this fight or look ordinary in this fight. And I just think like it's gonna be go time. He said Shakur is in that deal, and I believe him because it's $200 million. So if they guarantee and tank that money, I think that I'm not a math guy, but any math people out there, that's just over like 30 mil a fight, 35. So I mean, you're paying a guy 35 million a fight. I mean, you're gonna want to pick some names. Like this is kind of like the Canelo situation, like with PBC apparently gave him names of Spence, Jermell Charlo, and Jamal Charlo. And now look at the outlet. They saw what the Jermell fight did, and they're like, excuse me, they're like, nah, we can't give you Jamal after that, bro. We're not gonna make the money back. So you guys saw what they tried to do. They tried to throw Benavidez in there, and Canelo wasn't going. So looked like he reconstructed the contract, and we just got Jaime Munguia, which is I think was a more live dog than Jamal. I think that fight probably did well pay per view wise, and I think PBC made their money back on Canelo, where I don't think they were gonna make their money on Jamal. I would have thought that would have been a bust if they fought, but yeah, Tank's in a beautiful spot. If this is true that his deal is bigger than Floyd's, and with all the back and forth between him and Floyd that we've gotten recently, I think that means that maybe Tank is not taking the advice from Floyd anymore. Maybe he's speaking with different people, and different people are influencing him that want to see him in these big fights. And if that's the case, then man, shout out to Tank. I just that was always my biggest knock on him. So I mean, if he fight these fights, I got nothing to say. All you Tank fans can come at my head. But man, I just want to see him in, like, that's the thing too. If Tank lose a fight, I'm not gonna be like he's a bad fighter. Like, these dudes is just these boxing fans these days are crazy, man. You lose a fight and you the worst fighter, you overrated, you ever this and that. And it's like, man, this is the fight game. Anybody can lose, anybody can get cracked, and the whole fight changes. A lot of these people that are talking probably never been in a ring, one, and two, never been cracked, never been punched. You can tell with the way they speak. But man, if Tank was to take a loss in the 6 fight deal, I wouldn't throw him under the bus, man. I would tell him actually to make sure that he finishes out that fight deal with two good or wherever he lands with the right fights, right? We just want to see Tank fight the good fights at the end of the day. And I also saw something, like, I don't know if it's true. I'm just paraphrasing, where he said he don't want to fight in Las Vegas because he feels disrespected. And that was very interesting to me because it's been a while since we've seen a guy like Tank. He sold out in Atlanta. I'm sure he'll sell out in Washington. I'm sure he'll sell out in Houston. Fuck, Tank, go on a tour, bro. Just do the North American tour. Go to Miami next, and go LA. He's already sold LA with Isaac Cruz. I mean, he's the man, the ticket seller, man. If I was him, I'm not, but I'm just saying, if I was Tank and his team, I'd be putting up bidding wars. You know what I'm saying? Whoever got the most gate gonna get the fight, straight up. And we'll see what comes from all this. Obviously, Tank Davis is the next guy in line, the superstar boxer. Canelo Alvarez is on the decline. Not the decline, but I'm just saying, like, he's getting down to the end of his career. That guy's fought so many fights, and it's not that he's getting old. It's more like his body on the wear and tear of all the camps and the fights, man. I know it's just taking a toll on him, and he's definitely, like, he's made so much money. So uh, if he's not motivated, I don't see why he would get in the ring. And we know Bud Crawford. He's basically echoed some retirement. You know, some sort of retirement. He wants to do 3-time undisputed. So I'm guaranteeing, like, if he gets to that 3-time undisputed, then he's just gonna hang it up. And then those two guys leave the sport. I'm not saying Crawford's a big superstar boxer, but, like, when those guys to leave the sport, then it's like, man, anyway, and Tank are the front runners for the next face of boxing because of what they draw, what they do in numbers. And then you could throw Ryan Garcia in there because of his influence online, which is also pretty interesting too. That the money that he generates, you can't ignore that. So there's always a changing of the guard, and it's nice that Tank's got the 6-fight deal because that means he's gonna get the PBC love, and what I mean by that, he's gonna be treated great. And his first card, amazing card. David Benavidez at the co-main event, and I think, oh, man, who else was on that? Edwin De Los Santos. I think he's also on that card. Um, Man, it's gonna be a good card. It's gonna be a good card. June 15th, I believe, in Houston, Texas. Shout out to Tank Frank Martin stepping up to the plate. It's a big fight for Frank Martin. Another big fight for Derrick James, man. Like, man, a lot of people not giving Derrick James his respect on that Ryan Garcia fight, but I'm gonna give it to him, man. He played possum too. He played with us with those videos where he was, you know what I'm saying, he was holding his head. I was played by that too. Shout out to Derrick James. He definitely got a big win there. And obviously he's shooting for another big win, and he's not in another big fight. Like, people try to bash him because of the Spence thing, and then AJ didn't look good. But nah, sometimes it's just not enough time, right? Like those, like, okay, obviously Spence had his whole career with Derrick James, but I just mean like the AJ thing. Like, he didn't have enough time with AJ, and then Ryan Garcia was doing the shoulder roll, and Derrick was telling him not to, clearly. So he could tell he didn't have enough time with Derrick either. But yeah, man. This 6 fight deal, I hope that Tank Davis delivers for us, the fans. And I really hope that we gain from this is that it was never Tank that was stopping the big fights. It was Floyd and Leonard Ellerby, because they were always the ones saying that they were going to only fight in house. And if you weren't in the house, you weren't going to get fights. But we got Tank Davis here telling us that Shakur Stevenson is in the deal, and Shakur's on top rank right now. So, maybe Devin Haney's in that deal too, and the rematch with Ryan Garcia's in that deal, and maybe Teofimo is in that deal. Maybe Lomachenko is. I think what I'm trying to get to is that we're gonna really see who Tank is in these 6 fights, because he's either gonna fight the fights that we all want to see, or um, he's gonna not fight the fights we want to see, and then we're gonna be questioning just everything that's going on with the PBC and over there. I really hope those guys had a success with this Canelo and Jaime Munguia, because I'm not a fan of like some people do the network choosing and stuff like that. I'm not a fan of that, because I think, like, when networks lose money, the sport loses. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not good for the sport. It's not good for the fighters. It's not good for anybody that's involved with the business of it. So I want promoters to always win, because when that happens, then people like Big Turkey Al Sheik come out of nowhere, start putting up money, start putting up bags to make the big fights. So we need to make sure everybody is making money, man. We need to make sure that these fighters is making money. I know the pay-per-view price for that fight was a little high, in my opinion, but inflation is everywhere, literally. So I mean, it's kind of like, damn, great fights, great boxing, but it's gonna cost you. That's for sure. And yeah, man, just the PBC, they got it. They got Amazon Prime now behind them, so I mean, that's a huge entity. I think if they can be successful and have a good year, show that they made lots of money, then they can get that budget from Amazon Prime. I just think it's a matter of proving yourself, showing the brand that, hey, we got a guy in Gervonta Tank Davis that can draw millions of people, that can bring more subscribers to your platform, bring more eyes to your platform, and you give us that budget, and we can make him a bigger star, making more people come here for boxing. And we got Canelo Alvarez, who already is current face of boxing. So I mean, it's a good sales pitch. I'm sure Al Heyman's already pitched that already. I'm not saying nothing that probably hasn't been said already, done already. So they probably already know where the parameters are at on the budget wise, and for us fans, we just got to hope that they keep winning, as well as Matchroom keeps winning, and Big Turkey Out Sheep keeps working with Eddie Hearn, and now the PBC's involved. Top Rank was involved, Bivol and Better Beef, and it's just Golden Boy. You guys, oh, I guess they're involved now too, because we got Victor Ortiz versus Tim Zoo on the August 3rd card. So Golden Boy's involved as well. So all the promoters are involved. with Big Turkey Al Sheik. So shout out to that because that's what boxing needs. Unity. You know, when you got somebody who's big enough to put up the money, it really helps the sport, helps the fighters, and you know, like you see now, nobody's ducking fights because the money's right, man, and that's what money does. That's why I think that this Tank deal will allow him to fight those big fights because he'll be motivated. He'll have a duty to serve, obviously, to the promotion and to the Amazon Prime buyers and users. And this is great for Tank, man. Dude from Baltimore, a come up story, and you know what he's been through, from rags to riches. This is great, man. This is great for him and his family. And 200 million, if it's true, is super generational wealth. You know, his family will be good. And anytime some people get deals like this, us as fans, we feel like we need more. Of course, we need more. But I'm happy for the dudes that get more. I'm happy for the dudes that put the work in and now are being rewarded. You know, so shout out to Tank, shout out to his team, obviously, for getting that deal done. Because you know, anytime you can make a young black man rich, yo, good on you, man. It ain't easy out here. Let me know what y'all think about the deal. Let me know what y'all think about Tank. Man, Tank fans, jump in the comments, man. I don't care if y'all get at me or not. But don't worry, I'll come around, man. Like I said, I stand on my word. I'm a man. If Tank fight the fights, I want to see him fight. And maybe that's just me, but um, I don't know why, as a fan, you wouldn't want to see your fighter beat up on the other guys that they think are the best. You know, whether he did it in sparring, I don't care, man. I want to see in the fight when the chips count, when it's on the line. That's all I care about. This is like we don't watch freaking NBA practices and be like, yo, this guy should be starting over that guy because he was busting his ass in practice. Like, no, we don't give a like Allen Iverson said, man, talking about practice. We ain't talking about sparring, man. Sparring's whatever. Like, honestly, some people don't even understand that some of them fighters in sparring are handicapped. Now, I've heard that's mostly an East Coast thing. I'm on the East Coast, so that's why I'm saying that. Because most sparring that I've seen, it's mostly handicap sparring. Like, especially if you got two guys in there who are not on the same level, you're not gonna let the one guy just destroy the other dude. So some guys will be working on defense while other guys is working on their jab, working on offense. So, but I heard, I've been to Vegas a few times, but heard through the grapevine in Vegas, there's no rules. Everybody's in there trying to kill each other. I know down in Philly they get down too. So I mean, there is gyms out there where yeah, it's there's no handicap sparring and these dudes are really going at it and that's all good too. But like I say, those lights, man, everybody's not built for them lights. And like Tank to me, he is built for the lights. Like he don't look like you know what I'm saying? Like he's not used to this. He gets in there on the biggest stage and puts on a show. He's a showman and he's one of the best entertaining fighters that I've ever seen. You know, it's just you know, Rolly Romero, he don't, you know what I'm saying, he don't move the needle for me. Pedraza was a good win. I thought that was a great win because of where Tank was at in his career. But like Isaac Cruz, I don't know, man. I don't think much of Isaac Cruz to be honest. But if Isaac Cruz was to go beat Devin Haney and Sabril Matiz, oh shit. Now that Tank win looks extra gravy. Because you know Ryan Garcia beat the shit out of Devin Haney, and this is coming from somebody who's a Haney fan. Like I fucks with Haney because Haney's chasing belts and shit. I like that type of shit, but it is what it is. Ryan Garcia beat the dog shit out of him, and you know Tank. I just want to see Tank fight those fights, man. He doesn't have to be like a belt guy because you know what, belts, I get it, Tank. Nobody want to pay 3% on each fucking belt. I get that, bro. But if you fight a dude that does have them belts and you beat dog shit out of him, and then you just I don't want the belt, you can keep your belts. I'm okay with that too. I'm gonna count the win the same way, bro. I'm gonna say, yo, Tank still beat the shit out of him, and I'm gonna still call a spade a spade. Like Tank is him. He beat the champ. But it's just a little weird how fans get with the the demands and everything that, and the weight stipulations, and I think there's too many what they call them, fanagers. There's way too many in the sport, not enough guys who just want to watch the best fights. And I think we need that in boxing. We just want the best fights. I kind of wish I got to see Roberto Duran move up and fight Sugar Ray Leonard, and then fight Thomas Hearns, Marvin Hagler, because the fact that he did do that. Obviously, I watched the fights because YouTube and whatnot. I'm just saying, I wish I lived through that, because I'd have a different view on what's going on today, especially guys who are not moving up and challenging themselves. Because a guy like Roberto Duran, I did get to see Oscar though. A guy like Roberto Duran, I wish I got to see, but I did get to see Oscar De La Hoya, and he fought everybody too, and that's why he was a golden boy. Man, he lost some fights. He lost to B Hop, Trinidad. A lot of people controversy with that fight, and he lost to some people. Shane Mosley, I'm pretty much sure Shane Mosley beat him coming up 2 divisions. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's some Roberto Duran shit. Like, I like when I see that shit, and I think Tank is of that talent to do that. I don't like. I'm not bashing a guy if he doesn't do that, because I understand, like, going up 2 weight divisions to beat somebody is almost like a suicide mission. It ain't for everybody, and if you ain't built like that, don't do that shit. So I get it, man. If a Tank fan said, "Yo, that's wild, man. Why would he do that?" Yeah, you're absolutely right. Why would he do that? Like, why would he risk that much when he's an A side? He's got all the money. You know what I'm saying? He's not really fighting for legacy. He's fighting for more money, which is okay. Get paid, get your money, man. This ain't a longevity sport. Don't stay in this shit too long. But I get it, man. Totally. Tank's out here trying to get a bag, and he got a bag. But now I think whoever gave him that deal is gonna make him have to earn that guaranteed money. And he's gonna make money on the back end. So as long as he keeps them strong pay-per-view buys, which we're gonna see what it looked like after Frank Martin, because I do think his last one was, you can credit Ryan Garcia a lot for that, especially because who Ryan Garcia is and his audience. So I mean, it'll just come down to like what we get out of this Frank Martin fight, pretty much. But y'all let me know your opinions. What you think of Gervonta Davis? How do you want to see him in the future? Like, where do you want to see him end his career at? I want to know what the fans think, because like, maybe I'm just being too critical. Maybe I'm not seeing enough. But I think we can see the best of Tank in these 6 fights for sure. And I hope we do. So that I can come on here and say, yo, Tank's the baddest dude in the game, just like y'all cult followers said. But after that, man, I'm gonna be out on this. I just came to drop a little video, try to get back in my little mode, drop some more content. Shout out to everybody boxing. Shout out to the 6, Toronto. Love you. My bro, I think he's getting ready to fight in June. I think he said he's in the gym training. That's my brother Joshua Frazier, 10-0, 7 KOs. Got to shout him out. 6'3", super welterweight, southpaw. We in that shark division, 54. There's a gauntlet there. So if Crawford runs that gauntlet, shout out to him. But yeah, man. Shout out to the fans. Shout out to all the boxing heads. You know what it is, man. Hit me up. Drop something in the comments. Make sure you like. Subscribe if you like the content. I'm going to try to drop here on the regular. All right. Peace.